What's up? What's up, man?
How you been, man?
Chilling.
So, man, from our last interview, man, I had such a good time, man. You know, you invited me to your house. We had lasagna. I got
Oh
to meet your
yeah.
family,
Oh
your
yeah.
daughter, which was awesome, man. It was such a great experience, and this is the reason why I do podcasts. You know, obviously, you know, sponsorships and money, all that stuff like people want, right? But I think I get more fulfillment, you know, building connections and relationships. So thank you for even giving me the hospitality last time I came here, and we're back at it again, man.
Can't complain, baby. Can't complain.
So, man, the holidays just passed, man. Thanksgiving. So, like, talk about how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was well, man. I had a lot of family out here from out of state. We all just got together, cooked up some chicken, had some turkey. Man, took a nap, watching football all day. That's all we did, man. Is kick back and relax. That's it.
Now, are you the cook or
Yes, I was the cook.
okay,
Yeah, for sure.
for everything?
Everything.
Oh my goodness
Everything,
gracious!
yeah.
All right. Hey, so what's your favorite side?
My favorite side, I would probably say sweet potatoes. I will probably say the yams because I put a little bit of marshmallows on top, a little bit of honey, syrup. I just mix it in, and I can eat that any time of the day. The yams.
So, but what is your most famous side that your whole family likes?
We all like homemade mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. All right.
Yeah,
What's the
mashed
secret to
potatoes.
yours?
Oh man, I use some of my brisket rub in there.
Okay.
I put some plant-based butter because it has a different taste to it, and we definitely add a lot of garlic in there as well, garlic powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, man. How many like seconds did you have? I mean, me, I had 4 plates and then like another 8 plates after that.
Oh man, I would probably say, so I'm eating small portions at the moment. I probably went back about 6 times, at least 6 in that one day. Back and forth, back and forth. I'll eat, take a break, watch football, go back to eating another plate and go back, watch football. I'll just go back and forth. And with all my family, we're in the backyard hanging out, and it was fun.
Well, that's so good, man. I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving. I'm glad that, you know.
So first
Your
of all, how was
family.
your Thanksgiving?
Oh, my Thanksgiving was good. So I had it a little early. I had it with my girls. We had it Wednesday, and I kind of like let my daughter kind of choose it, like kind of do it on her own. So we
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
Costco, got like a rotisserie chicken, and went to KFC, got sides.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah, and so
okay.
she's 6 years old. So I said,
Yeah.
hey, you know, you're the girl of the house. You know what I mean? You do it. So I kind of gave her ownership of that.
Yeah.
It was special. She loved it, and yeah, I had such a good time, man. And so then, on Thursday, I went with my family, with my brothers, and it was just good to spend time with family. And it's always
Yeah.
good to like, I mean, holidays, you know, whether you're talking to your family or not, like holidays, it kind of forces everyone to get together.
It's all about the family. It's
Yep.
all about the family, man. It's all about the family.
Yeah, so I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving, man. And
Yeah, that's good.
so here's talking about food, right? I got a DM from you on Instagram, and now you're promoting your
Yeah.
your barbecue, man. So let's
Yes.
talk about that too.
So this barbecue I'm hosting is actually called it's actually our second annual front yard barbecue style. And again, our like my barbecue is the way I like to do it is I don't look at it more like looking to make a profit. It's more of like a networking thing. So when I start campaigning new projects, I like to do events for Baisey barbecues, so everybody's enjoying food, a little bit of wine for the adults, of course, just so I can give presentations and just network and just let them know like this is the direction I'm heading towards, and so they can kind of go off and talk to some of their people and say this was coming next, jump on the train or keep it moving. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have ribs there, beef ribs, pork ribs. We're gonna have brisket. We're gonna have the whole 9 yards, man.
Yeah, and I was reading your menu, man, and like you said, it's really affordable, man. And you have like 3 different
Yeah.
menu sizes,
Yeah.
right? Let's talk about those.
So the menu size is pretty much the nephew plate. My nephew he doesn't eat pork, so I made that all beef. That right there, and then I got my nieces. They mostly eat chicken, pork ribs and stuff like that, a small portion. I got the grandbaby's plate where it's just simple. It's a $10 plate. You get like some chicken legs and a hot dog and one side and a Kool-Aid or something. It's just for the kiddos, you know what I mean? So I try to create menus towards because the first annual one was the granddaddy plate and the grandmommy plate, and that's because of my mom and my dad. And now this one is mostly towards like my nieces and my nephew. That's the direction I'm heading towards, and the grandbabies, of course. I don't have any grandbabies, luckily, but it's mostly all family based around. So
Yeah. And speak about your mom, man. FYI, dude, your mom is really awesome. I got to meet her last time, and I can see why she's such a big influence in your life. And she's such a great person, man, full of knowledge.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And so that event is invite only, right? Or is it
No,
open to the public?
it's open to the public. It's just word of mouth. I'm not really publicly pushing it out there to a public eye. It's mostly like a private invite to mostly people that I know that has other things going on that I'm trying to bring their projects in so I can utilize what they have. And like pretty much it's open to anybody.
Yeah.
If you get the invite, then I'm hoping you show up. It's just a networking party. That's all what it is.
Well, there's nothing that brings people together than food, man.
Some barbecue
It's
food,
barbecue
man.
food,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah.
So when you say it's like what is it? Would you say something? What type of style is it? It's like
It's
front, like a backyard
a front
style?
yard. Yeah,
A front
no,
yard
it's a
style.
front yard
So is it
style, yeah.
actually in a front yard? Or is it
It's a
gonna
front
be-
yard, so you get
Okay.
to come over. We're gonna play some dominoes. There's gonna be some spades out there, cornhole. It's gonna be where you don't just pick up your food and you don't leave. Now you actually want to get full and drink a little bit of wine and start talking to a few other people that's there. Trust me, like you do not want to miss out on this.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah,
I'll be there with
yeah.
my kids or without my kids.
Yeah,
man,
we're gonna have 2 fire pits going to keep people warm, and
Yeah.
you know when you sit around the fire, people talk to each other all day. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So I don't want to force you guys out to rush you guys home, and it's gonna be a long event after people eat.
Awesome, man. So from the last time we talked, man, we first off, I think the people that saw the video, right, and even us, man, there's so many unanswered questions,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Simply because, like, you know, you had to make sure, right, like if you name dropping or
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know you worked with very high profile athletes, and we talked about like having a second episode, and you maybe being more open with that, and I think this episode you're more get willing to do that, right? And
Yeah.
you made sure of that too. And even athletes here, you're working with high school athletes. I mean, I was gonna go to the Red Mountain and Brophy game, and then you're working
Yeah.
with an athlete there. So let's start talking about like the youth, right?
Okay.
Because the youth is so important because yes, you're working with professional athletes that are adults, right?
Correct.
But the work that you're doing with the youth, right, is making a big difference because you're and essentially setting them up for college, even pro if you go like let's say soccer
Yeah.
or whatever or basketball, right? So let's talk about that, man. Talk about your influence in Arizona high school sports.
Okay. So with the student athletes in the state of Arizona, let's talk about football. So what I do is I actually work with the parents directly, and they tell me what their issues and what they're running in cross, and I pretty much like it's the same. I'm an advisor. So pretty much when these guys are, because these parents don't have any clue like what's the next step to getting into college or what's the process of the recruiting process, and so I kind of walk them through the process. Just the football it's so fast, but it's so slow when you reach a certain point. You know what I mean? But some parents, they get confused because there's so many people. Like when you're a student athlete or your child is doing so well in a particular sport, people come to you and they want a piece of what you have. And I don't tell them not to listen to those people, but listen very well, because when people attach themselves to certain people, it can kind of burn bridges with people that they're already attached to. So it's just giving them advice of what to look for, what not to look for, what not to focus on in game situation. I just talk to them. I talk to all the athletes after the game, before the game. I talk to the parents during the game. Man, it's more to it than just come to the nest and train, or let me just talk to you and that's it. Like I focus more on the parents than I would actually with the student athlete.
Yeah, and like I said, that perfect segue to your sports consulting, right? Because that you briefly talked about that, and I think it starts with high school sports, right? And I think that's something to admire, that you not only consult the kid, right? Because I guess you're respecting the parent, because the parents want to consult their kids,
Yes,
right? It's like
yes.
you telling them what to tell their kids in a sense,
Yes.
right? And
And
so
like kind of like in their way.
yeah,
So because like the main reason why I don't approach the student athlete, one is because I just want them to focus in their sport. If I approach the athlete, I might say something to where that message might get back to the parents, and that student athlete might have said something different than what I actually said. It's just the verbal like language. It's different. It's just different. So
So I guess give us an example of some challenges that some parents have,
okay.
that you actually like, break it down to the most common one. Right?
Okay, so the most common one is Marcus White. Marcus White, man, this dude is remarkable. Like he's there. He's league material. Marcus White came from Brophy Prep College. He was player of the week with the Arizona Cardinals a few times. He got elected for some award that most athletes. So pretty much, like he was gonna get recruited by Army. He had colleges coming after him, but he chose in Dartmouth out in Boston, and that's an Ivy League, and that's different from the big packed schools. So the Ivy League is pretty like one of those schools where you have to test to actually even go to that school, and so he was there. He did his thing. As soon as he got home, he entered the portal. Now he's actually home now, and now he's going to a bigger school now. So he had to develop a little bit more, and the Ivy League developed him very, very, very well. So between that process, I was staying in communication with the mom and the dad, but mostly the dad because he's a good friend of mine. We call each other brother now. Like we're in. So I would delay the message to him, and then he would try to act, or not try, but he would actually act, and he would make moves on. Like I was kind of helping him guide the next move for Marcus. So I would put my twist to it, and then he would put his twist to it. We'd just go back and forth, and he would just tell me this is what's going on over there, and then that's when we'll just sit and talk about it, and we'll just see what goes on from there. But like transactioning, like jumping from high school into college, it's very difficult at a point, because there's so much going on. Everybody wants to go big. Everybody wants to play at a big college, but you don't really need that. Like the first 4 years, the first 2 years, you can redshirt. You can just go there for experience, for growth, to develop. And once you develop on a lower, not on a lower, but on like a smaller stage, then you can now opportunity, because these big universities, they go after the ones that are already developed. So they don't have to really change anything in that student athlete. So with that process being made, is now the options for him is college is going to be coming after him like never before, because he knows he's developed. He's in his man stages. Marcus White is just, man, he's that dude.
He's coming.
Yeah, he's coming.
And he's
Trust
from
me.
AZ. Shout out to Marcus.
Yes, he's from Arizona.
Represent
yes.
AZ.
Yes. So, but that's one of the biggest projects that I'm working with on the within the football community. That's going to be one of my biggest projects right there.
Yeah. So like you're helping parents understand give them a little bit more clarity in the sense of because everybody wants their son to go to USC, Colorado State,
like everybody,
Arizona State, right?
Like everybody says, my son this, my daughter that, and I'm like, okay, bring them to the nest. Let me see what they're about. And then once I can see that they have what they are talking about, then I can push them to somebody else that already in a higher position and say, hey, I got this stud, or I got this athlete here, and his GPA, her GPA is very well, and I just push them toward that direction, and that's it. That is it.
So that's the biggest issue, is like helping parents transition from high school to college, and not transition to the college they want, but the college that's best suited for their kid.
Yep.
Man, the more and more I get to know you, Lonnel, man, it's just like the power of connections, and it's like, you knowing those, how many people you know, right? You're able to just get people connected and help them out, right?
Yeah.
So that's something, man. That's something awesome, man. That I'm really getting to know you, and it's more more and more apparent about what you do. Especially the sports consulting that you're doing. And let's just talk about that. What is it called?
It's Bridge Sports. It's actually a sports consulting business. The sports consulting is more like let's go back into the boxing world. It's kind of like if a boxer needs certain things done for his campaign leading up to his fight, meaning training camps and so on and so on. Every fighter needs help. Every fighter needs financial backing. So what I do is I find that financial backing to pay his offset costs for his overhead for training camps.
That's awesome.
So if that particular fighter needs a camp house or food or meal prepping, I would go out and find a sponsor to cover the cost of the meal preps, to where I'm not making any benefit off of this. I'm going to say it again. I'm not making any benefit off of this. My rates are very low because I'm trying to reach a certain peak as well. And if you open the door for me, let me do what I have to do once that door is open, and then we can go and I can open up more doors as far as I go, as far as that fighter goes. So if I can help that fighter get to a certain place, I'm building the platform for the fighter. And once that fighter has that platform, then I back out and I let that fighter do what he needs to do. I'm going to use Walter Santabanos as a perfect example. I'm trying to do what he needs done, not what he wants done, but what he needs done first. Primary example, like I need this, I need that. Well, I know this person, I know that person, I know this person. Let's bring this person in, let's bring that person in, let's bring him on as a sponsor. So what I do is I help create agreements, not contracts, but agreements, saying that we will do this for you if you do this for us. Simple as that. So pretty much I do the writing, I do the typing for that fighter. So I make that fighter stand out a little bit bigger than what he really is.
So Arizona fighters, do you hear that? Do you hear what he's proposing and selling, and what he wants to do for you, Arizona fighters? Did you not hear what he said? The Bridge Sports Consulting will help you with training camp, meal preps, and connections.
Yep, training, recovery.
Is there a fee to it?
Nah, it's just let's sit and talk, and I'll tell you this exactly what it's cost, and I'm not putting anything on mark that. And everything that I create, you're going to be involved. You're going to see. So put it like this. Every email that I send out to a potential sponsor or a future endorsement deal investor, that fighter is going to be CC'd in every email. So even though we don't continue to work, they're going to still have that education left in their archives to look back and say, I can do this myself.
Okay, so that's awesome, man, because boxing's the only sport that you can become a pro fighter but make $1,500 a night.
It's a lot of avenues. It's a lot of avenues in this boxing. It is.
So, but like I said, that's awesome because we need someone like that. We need someone, because Arizona we have a lot of great fighters, right? But no one doesn't really take care of their fighters like they should, right? Because fighters don't know how to get sponsors. Fighters get tied down with promoters and then don't get fights. And also, if you don't know, you don't know, right?
So like primary example, another thing that I do with Bridge Sports is I work with the promoters. I want to work with the promoters with their fighters. So a primary example of that is if a fighter is signed to, let's use Iron Boy or Del Sol.
Okay.
So remember, we're all growing. We're all trying to expand the vision. So what we do with Bridge Sports is we work with the promoter. So we're not in a contract bind. We're working with the fighter to work with the promoter. So what we do is we try to bring in a marketing team for that fighter to promote not just the promotion company, but for the fighter. So we're marketing, promoting the fighter to help push the fighter in the promoting company. So we're working hand in hand.
Okay.
So like primary example, like I had a fighter that's gonna be fighting on Iron Boy. I approached him and I said, hey, instead of you paying me for my training services, let's do it this way. Just promise me you can give me 6 tickets so I can bring in a future potential sponsors. I can bring them to the fight, let them see you fight, and then I will still train you for the training camp at the Nest, my side business, my main business, my bread and butter. If you can deliver at least 6 tickets to me, and then let me do what I have to do from there. If you can take care of those 6 tickets, I know 6 tickets is a lot, but if that promoting company knows that that fighter is working with that promotion company already, what 6 tickets will hurt a promoting company? If anything, we're going to be building that fighter's image to the public eye to making it seem like he's within the community. So it's like a PR work in a way. So I'm setting up the fighter for better opportunity, but I'm actually bringing in potential sponsors to the promoting company to show the future sponsors to say, this fighter is signed to this promoting company. How about we bring that sponsor into the promoting company now? So he's now working with the promoting company and the fighter. You get where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. So I'm helping Del Sol. I want to help Iron Boy, but I just feel like there's a lot of gaps in between to where I have to close them up now. Mm-hmm. That's what Bridge Sports is all about.
Okay, that's beautiful and music to my ears, especially for Arizona boxing, because what you're doing is, yes, like the promotional companies give the fighters a platform that night.
Yes.
But what you're trying to do is you're creating a platform for the fighters for longevity.
Yeah, because put it like this, right? I'm gonna break it down. Boxing. Let's talk boxing right now. Every fighter has to pay for their opponents. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Every fighter has to pay for the fighter's medicals. Am I right? Every fighter has an opportunity to buy a slot on a promoting company show. That costs money. What we do at Bridge Sports is we cover those costs. We help find people to cover those costs, so all the fighters have to do is fight and train. That's all they have to worry about.
That's
it.
That's amazing, man. And I mean, for Arizona fighters, I mean, I'm just I had no idea this conversation was gonna go this way, or that you even did this. And so, Arizona fighters, man, I mean, reach out, because this is something that, I mean, it's a great opportunity. And why wouldn't you reach out just to even get, for you to pitch it, right, to the fighters? I mean, if I was a fighter, I would do it, especially if you're telling me, you're going to find sponsors.
It's going back to what we talked about in the high school sports, high school student athletes. I don't want to deal directly with the athlete itself. Mm-hmm. I want to work with the parents of the athlete. So, as an example, an amateur boxer. No amateur boxing is moving by itself. No amateur boxer is like saying, I'm going to enter this tournament because I want to. Usually it's because of the dad that's pushing them through that tournament, or it's a parent or a legal guardian pushing them, or it might just be a coach, right? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, is like, okay, well, instead of me talking to the athlete, let me talk to the person that they're close to, and let's work together. I can't approach a professional fighter saying, let's do it this way, because like you said earlier, they don't understand that part of the business unless they come to the Nest. Mm-hmm. Now, when we come to the Nest, when we talked about the first interview, I said, we just talk. Well, we talk. We don't just mumble. We actually talk. And if you have a vision, and it's my job as a person who, what I do is, I have to step away from just training you. I have to, okay, if I can help you build your career, I want to be a part of that. And I can't be around you 24/7 because I have so many other projects going on at once. I'm a multitask. I'm bipolar when it comes to stuff like that. If you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't sit still. So like what I'm saying is, I would rather work with the team so I can bring my food to your team's table, so your team can eat the food that I'm bringing to your table.
Okay.
So we sit and we talk. The food that I'm talking about is conversating, building a vision. Let's see. I want to hear where you want to take your fighter. I want to hear where you want to take your child. in the boxing stages, so we can work towards that goal at the same time.
Well, that's I mean, that's awesome, man. And if the fighters or the team is listening to this, man, I highly encourage just to reach out. I mean, your social media is pretty out there. I mean, people are going to be watching this video, and we're going to be promoting on Instagram. So, man, Bridge Sports Consulting. I mean, I'm excited about that. And it's something that you just started, right? Or I said
It's something I've been doing for many years, but now I finally said, you know what? Let me put an image to it and a name behind me. But it's not just me. I actually have a solid team behind me. I have a marketing team. We're about to launch a new campaign for Bridge Sports. We're going to come heavy with it. We're going to be doing amateur tournaments. We're going to be doing football tournaments, leagues. 2024 is it's going to be very, very, very loud.
Okay, so let's talk about the amateur part. So you have an amateur tournament coming up.
That's one of the projects I'm going to be launching off. I already talked to one of the gyms out here. We're going to be working on a project together where I'm putting a twist to it. So I'm bringing not the football world, but I'm going to be doing a boxing combine.
Okay.
Where we actually see who actually has the best hands, who can punch the bag the fastest, who has the best mitt work with their coach. Like, we're going to give awards out for those. It's going to be a competition within a competition.
You know what? That's something that, I mean, I'll give you this little thing that I was thinking about doing it, but it would be awesome if someone did it, right? When does Arizona ever have, like, Fight of the Year? When does Arizona ever have Best Improving Fighter?
They will soon.
That was because I've been thinking about that, you know, and I actually gave freaking.
They will soon.
Yeah.
Trust me, we will soon.
But like, not just for that promoter, because like I gave that idea to Gabriel, and Gabriel does it now for Del Sol.
Yeah.
And so, but like for all the fighters in Arizona, pro fighters, like
kind of like an award
best
show.
Knockout.
So kind of like an award show, like the ESPYs.
Yes, because I would love to host it. I'm just saying, I visualized. I was like, man, I would love to do that and host it. But yeah, man, it would be so awesome for Arizona fighters to all come together and promoters.
Yep.
Just to be in a room, and at one point put all the
fancy dinners. You have to dress up to actually show up. You can't just show
red
up in
carpet.
shorts. You can't show up in sweatpants. You gotta come dressed to impress.
Yep.
A big networking party. Instead of doing it in the front yard of barbecue, we're gonna have a good dinner at tables with white cloths on it.
I'm glad that we're both thinking the same because, like I said, I've always wondered that, you know, and I'm, you know, part of me's always been like, man, I wish I had some type of like connection to have that money to do it right. But if you do it, man, I would love to be a part of it. I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah.
So you're helping out Arizona Amateur Boxing, right? And that's with the tournament, and that's with also helping fighters and their teams
succeed.
Do that. So I guess, what is an amateur fighter you're working with right now?
At the moment, I'm not working with any amateur fighters. One is since I'm going to be focusing more towards the amateur tournaments, I want to shy away from working with amateurs. But there will be, I will be searching for a few local amateur fighters that I can actually help promote and market them and push them through the steps that needs to be taken. I'm looking for a few of them. And the only way that I can work with those is if they actually participate in this tournament that I'm looking to host. And this tournament is pretty much a tryout to see who can actually be the next athlete that can be promoted and marketed the right way.
Yeah, so when it comes down to that, man, like I think it's so important, right? Because I mean, trainers and fighters and just people who are in the boxing world, Arizona has such a big amateur underground is what I would call it.
Yes.
It's like underground. Like these amateur fighters are underground and they're not being seen.
I agree.
Because tournaments are not happening. They don't have the money to go out of state, and all they're doing is training.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
I mean, I go to the gym. I'm like, who's this? Oh, he's an amateur. I'm like, he's solid. Is he gonna become pro? No, he's 17 or he's 16. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This guy hasn't grown grown-ass man
Yeah.
body, man. So that's what a lot of people don't know, man, and just being in the boxing world. So I'm glad that you're helping that out, and you know, you're gonna be doing a tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in 2024. Now you talked briefly about Walter, right? And you've been helping Walter out for a while now. So talk about what improvements you are doing with Walter since the last time we talked.
Well, Walter right now is in San Diego. He's training. He has a fight coming up on the 14th. Yeah, the 14th, and he's fighting on the Zone, on the Golden Boy Promotions, and it's another opponent. We're going into his backyard like we did last time, and the improvements that we have, we've been communicating through phone constantly. I've been here doing my thing, and he's been doing his thing out there. I've been going back and forth, and I'll be seeing him pretty soon because I'll be definitely spending about a week out there with him. And yeah, just the improvements that I'm seeing in Walter is he sounds different. He doesn't sound the same. He just sounds different. Like something about him, his spark is like lit. And he's moving. I don't know if people have been following him on Instagram or Facebook or his social media platforms, but like he's actually sharing a lot of information. And if you're bypassing the information, if I was you, I recommend you to follow him right now and just look at his past stories and just his storyline, man. It's crazy. It's different. It's not like, I know he got fresh release out of prison and he's already on his journey, but now it's like his mind is like out there, like ready. He's ready.
Yeah,
He's ready.
I mean, I think him really going to that California and being that guy, and you know, him working with Golden Boy, him now getting national attention. You know,
Just open the doors. Like I said, just open the doors for me. Just open the doors for me and give me opportunity. Just give me opportunity to work. Like I don't even charge Walter. Like, because I know the direction we're going. So there's no need to charge. Just give me a few tickets. Like I said before, just give me a few tickets and we call it a day. Just make it even. I'm happy with that. And let's go.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Walter, man. I haven't talked to him in a while. I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah, he definitely got my flames going.
Yeah.
Trust me. That last fight out there in Indio, yeah, he definitely got my flame going. So trust me. Gorilla Elite ain't going nowhere. We've been around for many years, and we're here. We're still here.
Yeah, man. And I'm so happy for Walter, man. I mean, it's just seeing him. He's a good dad, you know, to his little boy, and his other kids, man. He's so refined, as a human being, and man, I'm so proud of him because I just see him so focused, and he's doing it all for his kids, you know.
I agree,
and it's beautiful to see, and people are going to eventually, especially here in Arizona. I mean, we're already we already see it because we work with him, right? But the people that don't really see it, or maybe Walter's too old, or he's past his prime. You don't know that this man is so strong mentally.
Yes.
He's going to do it.
And not just that, but when you have a community behind you, a community like these sponsors, like. When he fights, if he posts his sponsors on social media, look at those and be like, dang, like he's working with Bernie, like he's working with tons of sponsors right now. And these are like guys that have the right financial backing behind them that's helping Walter out. And that's what I like the most, him and focusing on his kids. Like, that's why I say he's different. He's different.
He definitely is, man. Shout out to Walter, man. I'll hope you had a good Thanksgiving, man. And man, I gotta reach out to him.
And his birthday, his birthday was this past recently. Happy belated birthday, and you know what I mean. So
that's awesome. Happy birthday, Walter. Macho. So recently you went to New York. Let's talk about that with another fighter. Let's talk about Jerome Jones Jr. because you know, let's talk about his last fight too. He had a very very controversial loss. You know, I would call it with Farid Goga, and in my opinion, part of that was just his inactivity, right? But then he got an opportunity here in New York, right? And I was really excited about that, but he unfortunately got the loss. Yeah. So let's talk about your experience, first off, going to New York and working with him.
Yeah, well, like one thing I know when he was here at the Nest, we focused more on development, mind development control, to stay calm under pressure, but still go. Um, this guy, he's committed, man. He's committed, and he's in and out, in and out, in and out. But towards the end, he stayed in. He didn't give up. I know when we were out there, like just the flight from Phoenix to New York, man, like that flight was pretty cool, man. Like having a playlist going, being able to watch movies on the headrests of the seats on the plane, like watching Willy Wonka, like that right there was like it was pretty cool. But the experience out in New York, meeting new people, new journeymen just like us. But man, these guys out there are fast. Like they can talk, they talk nasty, like they know what they're talking about. And the traffic out there is crazy, crazy, and crazy drivers too at the same time. But it was a great experience. I got to sit down with this head boxing coach. It's a boxing coach out of old school boxing, and got to have some coffee with him. Had breakfast with him a few times, and we're just talking, and just a great experience. Jones, I got to meet his wife. His wife was there. It was a great experience, man. Great experience. So just the loss that he had was, again, I don't want to get into the politics, and it's just we went in and just didn't come back with the win. That's all what it was. And it was a last minute thing. We took the fight. Jones took the fight, and as soon as he signed the contract, he gave me a call like, "Hey, coach, I need help. Let's get it going." I said, "Just come on, let's go." Then next thing you know, I believe a week before the fight, they threw a belt in there, a belt opportunity with the WBA, and so that kind of elevated him a little bit to kind of like shift off a little bit. So I'm glad I was actually there to attend. So we're doing mental exercises to keep him elevated and balanced, and but all around, like it was all around a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, if I was because if I was Jerome Jones, I would not get discouraged because he made two, in my opinion, major, fast, quick thinking, reactive decisions. Right?
Yeah.
Let's fight Farragoga, who's been active and favorite, and that he has to realize that decision was probably inevitable, right?
Yes.
And so
it's business at the end of the
yeah.
day. It's business at the end of the day. Jones came to me. He was already ripped, man. He had abs. He had everything. I just added to it. So I was like, okay, physically he's already fit. He came to me, and I was like, let's do a little something different. You know what I mean? Physically he was there. Everything he was there, and it's just the business side of it.
Yeah,
it's just the business side of it, and I tried doing the best I can with him, and we did what we had to do to get to New York, and he kept his word on paying me, and I ended up paying him even more. So, but again, I sponsored him the training. I didn't charge him for the training, the meal prepping. I just said, just pay me for the meal prepping. I'll take care of your recovery. I'll take care of your training. It's on me. Let's just go to New York. Let's open some doors up for us in the near future, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, and like he should not be discouraged because now it's like, okay, he's Iron Boy, quick fight, very good fighter and active, and then New York.
Yeah, straight to the point. Straight to the point.
Boom. And so now it's just like time to like, hey, let's get a local fight. Iron Boy, Del Sol, build it, and because he is very talented.
Yes.
And he will get another opportunity. Honestly, how I see his career kind of panning out. It's like Nathaniel Gallimore.
Yeah.
Remember Nathaniel Gallimore, right? He has opportunities, and he just got up. He got a couple losses, but he always gets those opportunities like a title belt or a very high, strong contender, right?
Yeah.
And if he keeps working hard, man, he will get those opportunities because he's really good. He's really good, solid, tall. He can move up in weight. He can move down in weight, or he can just stay where he's at. So, Jerome Jones, man, shout out to you, man. And I know you're grinding and you got kids, so I wish you nothing but the best, especially in your career here in Arizona and moving on forward. I'm glad you're working with this man too.
Yes.
So there's a couple, local promoters that are having events. Iron Boy, Del Sol, Iron Boy December 2nd, Del Sol December 8th. Let's talk about Iron Boy first. So
All right.
you're working with a couple fighters that are Iron Boy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how, would you mind talking about them?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I like the one thing that I want to focus on now moving towards 2024 is not just training random fighters anymore. I'm gonna cut that out.
Okay.
The only reason why I say that is because if Bridge Sports can attach ourselves to the fighter, and if you're just coming to me just for this, I think bigger. I want more. When it comes to training 4-round fighters, that's cool and all, but I want to go deeper than that. I want to go deeper, more like 10-round, 12-round fighters now, and I want to get to the money bag. And what I mean by getting to the money bag is just keeping it short and simple. Is just open up doors for me. Just promise me you can give me a few tickets to the fight, and the training will come for free. You know what I mean? I'll train you for free, but just allow Bridge Sports to work with you on the back end to help promote what you're doing, so we can put it in the public eye and move behind closed doors, so we can actually connect other grassroots and just make it all lock in. That's all I want. And but moving forward, working with some of these Iron Boy fighters, Del Sol fighters, like I want to work with some of the fighters that are already with Iron Boy or Del Sol, so I'm working like the back end for them, more of the promoting side of things, to not promote Iron Boy or Del Sol as much as I would promote the fighter. That's the direction I want to head towards in 2024.
Okay. And so I remember you telling me, you're unfortunately not going to make the December 2nd
Yes.
fight, right? And that's because you are going with Walter, right?
Yes.
So you're going to Walter, and Walter's fighting the 14th, so you're going
Yes.
2 weeks ahead, and that's when you're going to be. That's your
Yeah,
week.
so Walter, I'll be heading out there with Walter, and then Walter will be driving back together, and we're just gonna do our thing. We're gonna put on our music and probably put on a movie and just drive from San Diego to Phoenix, and then from there, then he's gonna be training here at the Nest, and we're gonna be doing our thing, running the mountains, training for this fight. That's what we did the last fight as well, and if it worked, why not? Why change it if it worked the last fight? You know what I mean? So we're just gonna get that going.
Yeah, and so so Walter's fighting December 14th on Golden Boy, and then Iron Boy December 2nd, and Del Sol December 8th, and there's a lot of boxing in December, man.
Yes.
I like that.
Trying to
Keeps me busy.
Yes, yes.
So with the sports consulting stuff, man, with high school sports, with boxing, with basketball, with swimming, with all that stuff, man. One thing that I really, really admire about you, simply because it's something that I don't want to say it's not being talked about, because now it is, right, is the mental health part of an athlete. And I remember the first conversation we had, you dabbled in it, right?
Yeah.
And you really, I saw that side of you, right? Even when it was talking about your family member, that passed away, your sister. We all, have our things, that challenges and tribulations and all that stuff. And for athletes, man, because they're especially fighters, right?
Yes.
And male athletes, right? Something that is suppressed in a sense. So talk about how, mental health in what you're doing, how you help these Arizona fighters, athletes, student athletes. How do you help them with their mind,
Yeah. So like one thing I do want to approach is mental illness is very, very, very an eye opener from just listening to so many different testimonies from high school student athletes, from amateur boxers turning pro and not boxing after they turn pro, because they realize it's not what it is. And sometimes when you're used to having people approach you and people talking to the athletes, oh, you're good, you're this, you're that, I can promise you that, I can give you this, I can give you that. that's one of the main reasons why I don't communicate directly with the athlete. I deal with their parents because I want to know more about the athlete than just me knowing what. Because a lot of people hide mental illness, but when someone when someone breaks down talking about their past, I'm not saying it's mental illness, but is this you have to respect people with mental illness, and you can't poke at them, because you can push them into suicide, hurting somebody else, getting into prison, and some people don't know how. When they have mental illness, they can stay in a state of mind to where they can't bounce back, and they have to go into certain places where they can't get out, like hospitals, or they're on homeless, or they're just there. And when someone calls somebody with mental illness retarded, I kind of lose respect for them, and that hurts me because I know a lot of athletes that I've worked with in the past that goes through those things. And they don't sound the same. They don't talk the same. They sound different. They have kids, but they don't hang out with their kids. They just sit on the couch, watch TV, or they go in the room, or I take mental illness very seriously because I have a lot of family members with the same issue. I have friends that changed from mental illness, from being an athlete, a high athlete, and then realizing like you're stuck in that world, but you're not boxing no more. And you turn to drugs. Like I said before, they suicide. So I take that very serious, and I don't call people retarded. I don't call them stupid. Because everybody's battling with something. Mm-hmm. Everybody's battling with something. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're in the White House, if you're homeless on the street. Everybody's trying to reach something to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people don't know where they're going or what direction they're heading towards. And that's why I feel I come into play at, and I communicate with them, and I help guide them to get back on the right track. That's where my gift that God sends to me, that I utilize. I don't want to say it in the wrong terms, but I say the things that He wants me to say.
Yeah.
And when those athletes come to me with problems, like I have athletes coming to my house, like, hey coach, I'm going through something. It could be at 1:00 in the morning. Yeah, come on over. Let's talk. You know what I mean? And we'll sit outside, or we'll, you know what I mean, just come inside, and we'll put on a TV, and we'll just talk at the kitchen table. We'll make some coffee, and we'll talk some stuff. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, mental illness to me is very, very important to me. And if I can protect people that are heading towards mental illness, I know the right people. Like, I have so much family members in the medical field. My network in the medical field is so strong. All I got to do is make one phone call, and I can call a psychiatrist. I can call certain people to get them through it. Even if they don't have insurance, like, it's different. It's serious stuff. Athletes go through this mental illness stuff all the time, and they don't talk about it. They're embarrassed about it, but I'm telling you right now, don't be embarrassed around me, because like what you tell me, I take it to the grave.
Yeah, and that's something that when we're talking about mental illness with athletes, it's serious, right? Because like you said, you don't talk about it, mm-hmm. and it's something that I'll give you an example of me. I'm a varsity basketball coach, mm-hmm. and I go to a very privileged school, right? I teach at a very mm-hmm. privileged school, and even those kids have mental illness. There's this saying, just because they have nicer doors to walk through doesn't mean that mm-hmm. behind the door is something nice, right?
Yeah. And
so it's everybody, man. Like you said, it's the rich, it's the poor, it's mm-hmm. the middle class. It's the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And once I realized that, man, it just kind of humbles you, right? And because you just see everyone's going through it. Mm-hmm. And the way I deal with it is having faith, right? Like you said, I sometimes the words come to me that He gives me, mm-hmm. and I'm able to help these athletes. I'm going to help myself out. And with faith, you're so powerful, because He's taking care of you all the time.
Yes.
And so, man, that's
but it goes back to even family get-togethers. Like, even though a lot of people don't celebrate holidays and because they believe in this and like, it's cool. You can believe, you can be Muslim, you can be Buddha, you can be whatever around me. You can, whoever you are, just be you around me. Like, don't be Mr. Tough Guy all the time and like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, no, like, I don't want that around me. That's why I said I has to be very selective about who I'm working with now, moving towards 2024. Because again, family is important, man. And if I can talk to you, even if you don't have family, I'm the type of guy that will invite you over to my house for Thanksgiving. Why not? Meet my family. That's why I have the front yard barbecues. That's why I have so many projects going on. It's because I don't think just for myself. He has me in a position so I can bless other people. Simple as that. And the more I can bless, the blessings comes back.
Yep, that's beautiful, man. And I guess that's connecting, and having like-minded goals and core values. I mean, I think it's the reason why we're here, and he brought us here to this table, and why there's a second episode, and there's gonna be many more episodes, right? Of just talking about what you're doing to the Arizona community, because believe it or not, guys, the first episode was just a ripple, right? The second episode is just a little bigger ripple, right? You threw in a little bigger rock, but he's doing so much more, so much here in Arizona for the community, and we're just scratching the surface. And he hasn't even talked about the big names, right? Here, the famous athletes, right? And that will come in due time, right?
Yeah, and then by the way too, that I was at the Brophy game versus Red Mountain. Larry Fitzgerald was there. I didn't know that his son actually played on the Brophy college prep football program. And when I seen him over there, I said, hey, because Marcus, I went there because Marcus is alumni, so I was on the field the whole time. I didn't sit in the stands. As soon as we got there, we went to the sideline and we're just hanging out. And I seen Larry there, and I said, Marcus, and then his dad was there as well, Wallace White. Hey, you guys want to go meet Larry? And they're like, yeah. So I went over there, introduced him to him, and just a quick intro, you know what I mean? Because now, like I said, is if you can get me on the sideline at a game, and old alumni are coming up to Marcus, like, because Marcus was a stud on campus, you know what I mean? And everybody knew he's going to be the next athlete coming out of Brophy. And when people see Marcus White talking to Larry Fitzgerald, one of the legends in the NFL history, Cardinals history,
Yeah.
it kind of speaks value and or volume, and it shows people like Marcus is heading in the right direction. And it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That can open up other doors for other people. So if you have any issues, if you're having trouble finding sponsors, endorsement deals, just come holler at me, man. Come to me directly. Don't come to me, well, I know this person, I know that person. This person said this about you. Like, trust me, I don't listen to none of that stuff. I don't. Because all it is rumors. No one out here doesn't know anything about my personal life. I have my family here. I keep that secret. It's private. I have my daughter. I have my son. I have my stepdaughter that's in the Army right now, that's in Korea. Trust me, man, I'm all about family first. And if you're about family first, then we can work something on the business side of things, and we can connect families in somewhat way. But like, my job is to bring food to your table for your family. I'm not taking from your table to put on my family's table. I'm just here for opportunity. I'm here to bless people. I want blessings back in return. Just tickets to a fight. If you can make tickets to a fight happen, then let's make it happen, man. Because I just want to kick back at a fight and enjoy myself and watch other fighters fight, and just see what these promoters locally are doing, even if it's out of state, are doing, because it actually helps me go. It puts gas on my flame to help me keep going, saying that this is real, and these promoters, there's other people like me out here that's doing the same thing. Not the same exact same thing, but they're trying to bless other people at the same time. So,
well, Lonnel, man, like I said, it was a pleasure talking to you and even being here with you, man. And again, guys, Bridge Sports Consulting, hit him up on his Instagram, Facebook. All Around Boxing is following him too, and I'll be posting posts on my stories, and your tag will be there. Amateur boxing tournament coming to 2024. Shout out, you'll be on the lookout for Walter fighting December 14th, and also guys, why wouldn't you want to listen to what he's proposing to you? Because if you're an Arizona professional fighter, right, even an athlete, you're gonna work with a team that's has your best interests, and also, gonna get you sponsors and guide you to the right direction and just give you a push. If I was an athlete from high school, or even just professional fighter or whatever, right? I would just, hey, I saw this video, and let's talk more about it in specifics, right?
And like another thing too is there's a kid, a great amateur. He trains at Sonny's boxing gym. His last name is Garcia, and this kid is moving, man. But like when he started moving, we were on the phone for like hours talking to the dad, just back and forth, back and forth. And now he took me to Philly. He's hanging out with Danny Garcia. He's hanging out with Mayweather. He's hanging out with all types of big name boxers now, if you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not about like attaching this to you. I'm not looking to attach my face to you. I just want to conversate and just share. Like, let's talk and let's see what's good, what the pros and cons about how to move. And if we can do that over a cup of coffee or over lunch, like, let's do it. You know what I mean? And you don't have to attach yourself to the Nest. You don't have to attach yourself to Grill Elite. Let's just talk and let's see how I can help you move and how we can help you build your career. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gorilla Elite Training, your meal prep,
yep,
Baisey Barbecue and Blues, the Nest.
Yep.
My man, pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the hospitality, guys. Hit him up.
Sounds good. Thank you. God bless.